You're all set.
Cool. All right, cool. Appreciate it.
Thanks for doing what you do.
Look at this. We're on a very special.
The
Chaos
I'm
Cast.
interested enough to make the podcast good, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I
I'm
turn
not
the
really
music
too
off
much
so we don't
about
get digital
talking
media copyright strikes, right?
That's a good
It's
choice.
okay.
Yes.
It can't be any worse
Yeah.
than
Let's say
the
that.
Dead Space one that they had a couple weeks ago where they were reviewing Halloween candy.
Oh yeah, wow.
Just
nice.
Martin and Evan.
Yeah.
That was a great one, though.
It was funny, but it was just a filler
Space.
week. Yeah.
Dead Space, that's a fucking rad video game. That's a really good.
Yeah,
there's
they made a movie
new
based on it
one
too, didn't they?
coming out. No, there's no Dead Space movie. Well, no, there might be an animation.
Yes.
You're right.
It's on
I forgot
Amazon
about that.
I
Prime.
think it already came out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think that's why I know about it, 'cause I think I watched it
completely
on
forgot
Amazon
about that.
Prime.
No, but there's supposed to be a new game coming out. I think I don't know if they're rebooting the franchise or they just went a little bit deeper.
Do I gotta put on headphones and stuff?
No,
For
you don't have
guys?
to put on headphones.
Yo, this shit,
The only thing I would say is you're
What?
going to keep the microphone like maybe
Okay.
10 inches from your mouth or so, and that's about it because it's only one direction. If you speak
You
into
can
the
pull
side
on
of
it and it'll come towards
Yeah.
you
Pull
too.
on it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
I want to
it's
break
just
up.
the arm's just stiff.
Okay.
Oh man.
This
Welcome.
look really professional.
Welcome to a very random emergency episode of the Comic Shop as a podcast. I need to change the names on the camera. Oh, there's Alex.
No, just leave them all as whatever weird stuff's in there.
Yeah, that'd
well-
be cool. I like that.
Well,
I like that.
The probably giving Nigel at least some billing would be nice for him though.
Well, I have him billed as Kevin Delgado right now, so we're going to change
Yeah.
that.
I want to
Yeah,
be like the Black Thunder.
there you go.
Yeah.
Black Thunder?
Yeah, Black Thunder.
Okay, you got it.
That's my superhero name.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We're having such good conversation out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well just
Trying to
make a
capture a little bit of
episode,
it.
right?
Yeah.
That's
That's
been
kind of rock stylish though. Just
that's
you know,
been
be
the
like-
the forever thing here though is we'll do the podcast and then everybody will stand around for another 2 or 3 hours with
Yeah.
even better material than we had on the
That's
episode.
Kevin,
pretty-
Kevin,
that's
have a
pretty-
seat. Welcome.
That's pretty badass. That you know what I'm saying? We just make an episode because we having good conversation out there.
Can I
Just-
move you
Yeah.
over? Oh, you're gonna eat your sandwich. Kevin's here to eat his
Do you want
sandwich
to
on
eat it in
camera.
frame?
Yes.
Can I eat my sandwich?
Yeah.
It's encouraged on this podcast.
I need you to move over just a little bit
All
though
right.
if you want to eat that sandwich on frame.
I just don't want to bother Nigel.
Oh wow! Don't do that.
So-
what the? Heck?
So Kevin,
Did you just say that?
Nigel's billing here.
You
He
just
wanted to be
said-
billed as Black Thunder. Is there any billing that you would like today?
Can I be Black Thunder too?
Yes.
Nah, I want Trinidad Lightning now.
Okay, we're gonna go
I'll-
Trinidad Lightning.
Yeah.
Damn, caught me off guard. I'll be
How you spell
I'll
Lightning?
be Latino
ING.
Heat. I'll take that.
Latino Heat.
Yeah, I like that.
A little pro wrestling reference
Little
there. I feel
go-to.
like, right?
It sound like strippers.
On this episode
So,
of the
like,
comic shop
strippers.
is also Chippendales.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not prepared for that.
Well,
Okay,
yeah, this isn't the
Trinidad
full Monty.
Thunder,
You're not.
Latino Heat.
All right.
I don't think I signed any performance
Trinidad-
contracts.
Trinidad-
Magic Mike thing is good.
Guys, first, thanks all for coming here today. Appreciate it. I wasn't
Yeah.
actually planning on doing this because we had an event in the back room, but I just felt like the conversation was just so good. This is what we do: is like we hang out once a week and we just talk about comics and
Yep.
creating and art, and we eat gabagool. So
Gabagool.
I'm very
Yeah.
proud that we have a professional gabagool eater with us today, Kevin
Aficionado.
Delgado.
Aficionado.
Kevin, I'm just going to ask
Professional.
if you're talking or chewing, be about 8 to 10 inches from that mic so we can hear all of the.
We need the full capture of all the chewing sounds.
I'm gonna chew so hard.
This has been
It
a
can't be worse than Martin just.
Oh, that's the worst.
this has been a signing that's been about a long time in the making because I think we first talked back in April at Rice where this guy and I sat between you two and we kind of
Yep.
developed that relationship.
Yeah.
And said, yeah, Kevin, when your book comes out, like we'll get a bunch of copies and we'll sign it. And it took an extra few weeks, but we got it. It's here. Oh, we should go grab some of the books so we can just look at it if you don't mind.
Grab those books.
You want tough stuff in Scarlet? What you guys both want stuff from?
Yeah, grab a few books.
And grab a Wesley, too, because he
no,
did the
we talk too much about Wesley.
Okay, never mind. Don't grab that
No,
one.
grab a Wesley. Grab a Wesley.
Shut
You
that
can-
guy down.
You can take Wesley and just put it right in the garbage.
Shade.
Oh boy.
Talk about shade.
Kevin,
Yeah.
or maybe we'll let you eat a sandwich first. Maybe Nigel, tell
Yeah.
us about what's your history with comics. How did you get into comics,
Oh,
and
man,
how did
I
you?
don't know how long is this show?
As long as we want to go.
Yeah.
Also, if somebody comes in and wants something signed or whatever, just get up and leave, and like it'll be chaos, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us about
We like the
Nigel.
chaos.
Nigel, tell us
my
about your.
journey with comics. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Got to
jeez.
chew on the mic, man.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we got to make food noise on.
Yeah, no, that's part of
it's
it.
not it is a
Is that a
requirement.
requirement?
That's what he
Okay.
said. I got to do the yes and.
That's good. Like
There you
that.
go.
So-
All right, cut genuine comics. Genuine comics. Let me see if I could summarize it. Started when I was 13, Japan anime and comic books. Left my home country of Trinidad, came to America.
What age were you?
That's good. I like how you're putting questions in between there to kind of break it down. 20, 21,
Okay.
22. Now I'm giving away my age. 'cause
So
now
so what
I'm old.
what Japanese
Yeah.
manga and stuff are you reading in Trinidad?
Everything from the 90s.
Oh, cool.
Everything from the 90s. Ghost in the Shell. Freaking,
One of my favorites.
Just name stuff. Samurai. I can't think of anything right now. Ninja Scroll.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Anything like that. I can't think of anything right now. But
Okay.
Akira, of course.
Oh yeah.
Right. All right. Yeah. So left Trinidad, came to America, went to Marvel. Tried to get a job at Marvel to give me some scripts and stuff. To
So
work on.
obviously you didn't start drawing or getting into comics at 21, 22. You were doing that as a kid growing up, and then
Yeah.
you come to New York, you go to Marvel and see if you can get something going.
Yeah. I just walked into the office. Like, my dad bought me this really nice suit. You know, I look like a foreigner walking through New York City, right, in this trench coat and stuff like that. Nobody else, you know, I look like if I was like from Haiti or something. I don't know. Right? Bam, walk in there. Then I sat down with his editor guy. I can't remember his name right now. He looked like a hippie guy. Like, you know, most of them editors look like back in Marvel back in the day.
Aaron, what's your guess?
A hippie guy.
What year
Yeah.
is this?
Yeah.
That
What
was like 2002.
2002. Who was?
Is that Alonzo?
It could be.
It
yeah.
could be.
Axel
It
Alonso?
could be. Because that was Joe
Not like a
Quesada
hippie,
era.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I can't
don't
remember
know.
who it was.
Because like
I
a
really can't.
Marv Wolfman or like some of those guys, but they were long gone
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
time.
So
that happened.
all I remember is that he sent it on. He asked me if I'm from Jamaica. Right? He was trying to create conversation. I was like, no, I'm not from Jamaica. I'm from Trinidad. But you know, who could tell the difference? We all got accents. So we all song alike, right? Kind of, almost, right? But then, bam, right? He gave me some scripts. It was Spider-Man, Hulk, and I think it was a Daredevil script. Drew it up. I took it back.
What do the scripts look like? I mean, they're giving you a full issue, or are they just doing like
No, it was
here's
a-
6 pages?
It just was like sample scripts.
yeah.
Like, you know, like a 6-page script. He said, you know, go home and see what you could do with this. Right? Some months after I brought it back, he looked at it. You know, he said, well, yeah, you kind of good. You still need some improvement and stuff like that. You know, and I think he gave me out a couple of scripts, and I was like, screw it, I want to get a regular job. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He gave me all these scripts, and I got money I need. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you guys not giving me money, so I
Caetano,
left.
hop in here.
He just wants. I was just gonna see if I can get these signed right quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
I don't have a utensil, but here I'm gonna hand these to you.
I got a red Sharpie, but that's a red book. I don't.
I
know
have
if that's
a I have a
gonna
black
Silver
Sharpie.
ones?
I have a black Sharpie.
The cold Sharpie I got by my table would have been sweet. Yeah.
work. Is he getting the right Sharpie for you?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Kevin. We'll pause on your story here, Kevin.
Yeah.
What's your story with getting into comics? Where did that come from?
It started at birth.
Appreciate it.
So I swam out of the canal and I
Mm-hmm.
arrived and there was a crowd of rabid fans and they were throwing pencils at me and my infant hand went out and reached and grabbed a pencil and I just started drawing and it was like the most beautiful, inspired thing you've ever seen. And
I don't think Caetano's believing any bit of this story, but he's enjoying it a lot.
this is exactly how it happened.
It's like the Weird Al story
There's-
movie. Yeah, it's 100% true.
I was whipping the placenta around and I was just coloring it like a
See, Kevin's
Like a
story is
watercolor.
more longer than mine.
it was like an issue of
It's gonna
friggin'
take a while for him
Faust.
to finish the story.
No, I just kind of just always liked. When I was a kid, you know, Image was lifting off, and there was X-Men the cartoon and Batman the animated series.
I think we all share a similar origin story.
Right.
that,
So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm just so inspired by that, and then. You know, I graduated to Spawn and Image Comics and Top Cow, whatever they were putting out. Then got out of comics for a while, got into girls, and forgot about it. Went to college, got back into comics, and I've been pursuing it ever since.
I feel bad actually. Caetano sometimes joins us on our podcast, especially when we get into super arty stuff.
I'm good. I'm just chilling right here. I'm just gonna be obnoxious. And
All right, hang
No,
out,
that's
man.
the,
Hang
the
out.
more we'll welcome
if you
your
yell loud
obnoxiousness.
enough, you can be the peanut gallery.
all right. Oh my God! I can't believe it. What a great story.
All right, I got to bite off of Kevin's thing. That's the same, kind of like the same part I took, but with everything but without the, embryonic sac.
Yeah.
Waving the placenta around and what you did, what?
You don't want to
It
know
was
what I did with
similar.
the feces.
It's similar to that. So yeah, I got out of it, and I like he said, started to say, hey, this is for kids, right? I want to do stuff that meant for adults to do and stuff like that. And then one day, bam, did my first comic. Everybody liked it. And
When did you do your first comic?
Gun. It was called Gun. It was when I moved to Rochester, New York, right? And it was a little bit more peaceful than living in New York City and Brooklyn, right? It was super dead and quiet, and just needed something for my thoughts. Else I felt like I was going crazy.
How long did it take you to make your first book?
It took me like about 3 months.
That's
pretty,
impressive.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, it took me about 3 months.
That's what amazes me about the discipline. Not only can you guys draw,
Yeah.
but man, you can crank stuff out at like a clip that's very impressive. That like I can kind of draw, but like doing a comic just seems so overwhelming. So I'm always
Yeah, it
impressed
could
by
be.
that. That not only do you have the talent to draw and write, but the talent to just push through and produce and get things done.
Yeah. It could be. I mean, it's a long process. It's a long process, but I mean, once you just keep plugging away, you'll get.
Now you did not go to art school. You're just self-taught.
Yeah. One day I went to high school, and that was it, and then I just moved from there on.
Kevin,
Yeah,
you went
just,
to you went to Pittsburgh.
I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, but that was for like graphic design. Illustration was, I only had like 1 or 2 classes where we actually did illustration, but that was clearly like my favorite.
Yeah.
Those were my
Same.
highest grades.
So tell us about your first comic then. What was your first comic making experience? Like, I think again we all probably doodled and did things as kids, but like getting to the point where you're like, yo, I'm gonna do a book that's like 20 pages.
So I broke my back in 2015. So I was in a back brace for like 5 or 6 months, and
Can we get into that story?
I mean we can.
Is it worth it or no?
It's just long, but basically I was I was doing work. I was trying to provide for my family, and I fell through a roof and crushed 4 vertebrae. So that was fun. And on the road to rehab, my friend's a very established videographer, cinematographer, and he was posting like a portrait a day or a picture a day. And he's like, dude, you should just draw a character a day. So I did 100 Marvel characters in 100 days, and I just got exponentially better at drawing every day from just being, repetitive with it.
Yeah.
And then I started developing my own comic, and at the same time, I was having like these vivid flashes in my brain at night, and like fever dreams and stuff, and I'd create characters, and then I eventually like built a world that they could all live in. And then I started doing sample pages to take to conventions and stuff to try to get, my foot in the door somewhere. So that became Volantis.
Were
and
you
then-
tabling with any art before this, or was it
No.
just okay?
No. So this is like 2016. So I did like my first couple pages, shopped them around, got a lot of criticism. Like that's what I was kind of looking for. And then recouped, took another 6 months and did the first book. And I penciled ink, colored it, did everything. Wow. And then I ended up like doing the next 2 like 3 months after each other. And I ended up doing 8 issues of it, and I just kind of got sidetracked by other jobs that were coming in.
What book was this?
That was called Volantis. So I self-published 8 issues of it.
That's awesome. Again, going back to how talented you guys are, you guys don't just write or pencil or ink or color or letter. You do it all, and that's again just I'm wildly impressed by the varied skill sets you need to pull that off, and the fact that you're just saying "F it, I'm doing it all." This is
I'm horribly like a control freak when it comes to that because I like.
Is that a common thing between all of you guys? Are you all control
Fiercely
freaks?
independent.
No, at first it was like that when I first started. Man, I wanted to do everything. And then I was like, you know what? I got to give up some of this responsibility and get a colorist, get a letterer, get somebody to write the story. And, you know, if I had an inker, that would have been good too. But I yet to find a really good inker. So now I have like a small crew that I normally work with every time I bring out a book. But when I first did Anthill, man, I did the penciling, the lettering, the colors.
I thought it was funny. I was looking at Anthill online the other day because I have a couple of your Anthill books, but you have comics online through like a Google Books or something.
Yes.
And I thought it was funny that I went to the credit page, and it was Nigel Carrington, Nigel Carrington, Nigel Carrington. It should have just been like Nigel Carrington did all of this shit, but it said it was listed like one at a time, and I thought that was I thought that was really funny.
It was. I did that. It was kind of humorous for me to do that too at the time, you know.
Like if it was
That
a
was
movie,
like-
it's like produced by Nigel Carrington. Cinematography by Nigel Carrington. Directed by Nigel Carrington.
I should have just put, you know, book by Nigel Carrington, but I don't know why I did it like that.
That appeals to me too. I like
You
to
had
do
some
Yeah.
dialogue by another woman, but everything else
Yeah,
was...
yeah.
Aaron, you're kind of a control freak, right?
that.
Just admit it.
Well, I mean, with my own stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and things that I can exercise control over, I do like to be in control of. Sure. I mean, I also teach middle school, so there's a lot I cannot control.
Let's go back to Kevin eating real quick. Okay, sorry.
Go ahead, chew in the mic, bro.
So that which can be controlled, I do like to exercise control over it. I guess a control freak, maybe in some regards. I'm not like an insane taskmaster. I think I'm pretty chill.
All right.
No, we're gonna make this your new persona. This is it.
It's gonna be so hard for me to play that character because it's not who I am naturally.
Whip cracker.
So many times when I've collaborated with other artists, and I don't mean this in a bad way or something, but like I'll end up having to correct so much of it that it just got to the point where it's like I just got faster at coloring. You know what I mean? Like I can color a page pretty quick now.
I was there too.
Because I used to get flatters. I've employed flatters before, and it's just they just wouldn't set up the files the way I wanted them. The colors would be all off. I'd have to switch it all up, and then
You're spending even more time
yeah,
having to go
kind of
through and double check
backtracking,
somebody
yeah.
else's work.
And
yeah.
It takes more time than if you just did it by yourself.
it's just hard to rely on people nowadays, just to kind of like they don't have the same vision as me, so it's like maybe they're not as involved. I need 100% passion in my work. So.
Yeah.
Reminds me of when a certain gentleman would give me a page or a cover to ink, and I would have to fix a lot of it.
So I sometimes Aaron and I will collaborate on things, and I think I'm an okay artist, but I'm not great. But I would sometimes give pages to Aaron, and I would realize that he had redone like the entire page because all of my perspective's a little wonky, and my anatomy's okay, but like I'm just drawing from my mind. Aaron's always a reference type guy.
Yeah.
So it is one of those funny things that hearing you talk, and I was actually going to bring this up too, that like collaborating with you. Sometimes I feel like, I'm bringing something to the table, and then Aaron looks at it and goes, yeah, but this is kind of all messed up. So I'm going to have to. And
That's coming from Aaron.
it's coming from Aaron. Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty messed up. No.
So when you guys say collaborate, you'll collaborate with somebody. You'll pay them. Would you pay them?
Evan's commissioned me to do a couple things here and there, but when we collaborate, it's usually on like we did this thing called Comic Shop Makes a Comic.
Yeah.
And so we did a couple covers for that.
Yeah.
Comic Shop Makes a Comic we used to have a 3-hour Zoom where
Yeah.
everybody could get in, do one page. We would provide like a topic,
Yeah.
and then we'd put it all together. He'd put it all together, and I'd
Yeah.
print it.
Totally inspired by Eli Schwab and the cartoonist
Oh,
kayfabe
okay.
guys.
Yeah.
So like he did that, and I was like, we could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did for a couple until we're still waiting on some submissions
Well,
for
you
number 3.
know,
But
I did draw stuff and then just literally never sent it to you guys. So
But
We're talking too much about us. We got to talk about
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
Because I used to suffer with the same thing that Kev spoke about, where you have somebody work or you collaborate with somebody, and then they draw it a certain way, and then you have to go back and be like, this hand is incorrect, or the way you draw this posture, is kind of stiff,
Yeah.
or the person eye is looking the wrong way, or you had to go back and do stuff like that, and I don't know, I find my experience differ when I started to find experienced people and start paying them to actually collaborate with me, and saying I'll come together and put it in and put together a book, right? So
we're getting into a little bit of creative process. So what's your creative like? If on Facebook the other day you posted a comment of comic book writers hit me up or whatever.
yeah.
you've obviously got something on your mind that
Yeah.
you want to work out. What's the process from start to finish? Where okay, I've got this idea for my next book. I want to try to find somebody to collaborate with me. What's next?
So I'll send them like a summary of what I want them to do, like I'll tell them to do 6 pages of something like that. I'll see their writing ability, and then I'll take it from there. And then, if we could agree on something like how much they want for it, their work, saying if they want to get paid, and when I make like royalties and all that stuff, right? And then I'll write a contract out, right? And then from the contract, right, we agree on something, and then we could actually start working and building the script, right? And then we will build the script. I'll show it to like some other writers that I know, right? They'll look over it, right, and then they'll let me know if they like the way it's going and stuff like that. And then I might go back and rewrite the script and think about what this character would do and what this character would say. Then I'll send it back to the writer, and then you send it back to me, and then I'll start drawing from that point.
Kevin, what's your again? You're kind of in a silo. I feel like where you're doing everything.
Yeah.
What's your creative? You're talking about your character tough stuff.
Yeah.
You're saying the next book you might do might be another tough stuff.
Well, maybe you're kind of putting me on the spot.
Maybe not. You have an idea. You have an idea for the next book. What's your creative process look like? How do you tackle?
So I find some DMT and I smoke it, and then I go to the spirit realm and I talk to the aliens and they tell me what to do. No, it's kind of like that. I don't know. I just get inspiration, and when I find it, I just roll with it until it's gone. You know what I mean? But when I get that moment of inspiration, like it literally writes itself from my brain onto whatever I'm typing or whatever. And from then, it's just a refining process. Everything I do is just kind of a refining process. Like when I write my scripts, it's more or less story beats and funny things I want to draw and write. And I'll have like, I might have like a quip or something, but it's not all fleshed out. And as I go along, I just kind of keep refining it. So like, I'll make sure that like everything follows the structure of a story. Like if I'm going to do foreshadowing, like I make sure if I have something in the end, I introduced it earlier on or something like that. Like I kind of go through that whole process. But that, like I said, for me, it's just a refining process. Like I'm rewriting up until the book comes out. So that's kind of why it doesn't really help me to work with like a letterist or something, because I might just completely change what's being said.
A letterer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Letterer. Someone that writes in the book.
We're not gonna correct.
I'm just messing with you, bro.
Look, if I had to hire one, I know what it was called. You know what I mean?
Very good.
Do you
point.
find like while you're drawing it and working on those other parts, you actually like reworking, like thinking about the dialogue and other things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, like, if you can literally dissect my books panel by panel. I put so much little details and like little hidden things in there that like sometimes it's amazing because I'm like, oh yeah, I put that in there. I'll forget about it, and then I'm like, I can go back, grab it, and be like, I can make a joke about it like 8 pages later because I already had it in there, something like that. So like, I just kind of find ways to, round about everything.
About how many books? Here it is. You get Image comes to you, says, "Hey, look, we want to publish an ongoing by you." How many books could you put out in a year if this was just your sole? I'm just curious, out of like your production.
Am I handling all the duties?
Is he handling all the duties?
Why you got to do
The
that?
duties.
Let's just say you're approaching it like you approach your
So
current book.
my books are oversized, so I generally do like a 36 to 40 page book.
Okay.
I think I could do like 3 a year.
Uh-huh.
If I was doing nothing else, maybe more.
I mean, I guess if you're talking about a 40-page book, to me that's a 220-page book. So like, that's a lot of output.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm really cranking, like I can do a page a day, like easily. And I mean like pencil, ink, and color.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's like that could
That's
be like an
impressive.
18-hour day though.
Yeah.
But if I'm really inspired and I really want to do it, like that's the only way I get things done.
I think that says a lot to just get you guys like doing your independent thing. Like, if there's no passion there, I mean,
Well,
making money's fine, but
here's-
if there's no passion behind it, why bother?
Here's the way I see it. Like, one, I could be dead. Two, I don't know when I'm gonna die. And three, I want to make a lot of books. So like,
Yeah.
I only have X amount of time to make these. So I'm, take that as you will.
Wow.
It's interesting that Nigel, you said this earlier.
Yeah.
It's almost the exact same thing that Kevin said right now. And
Yeah.
Aaron, you said this to me before a million times. Like, it doesn't matter. I need to make books. Nigel, one of the things that sticks out to me too when I met you at Rice,
Yeah.
I was so impressed that at the end of the convention, you had to get up and go to your real job. That I was like, oh shit! Like this guy's here. He's so talented, and then he's got to go do electrical work. But you also made the comment to me like,
Yeah.
if I don't put out 2 comics a year,
Yeah.
I'll go crazy. And I truly think that, like, yeah, you're putting out comics every few months. That like that's, and I feel like Kevin the same way. I feel like Aaron's the same way. That like you have to do this. You're just compelled to do this. Do you think that's just something you're born with, or like?
No, I got to take a page out of Kevin's book, man. He said that he could be dead. You know what I'm saying? He got to bring out so much books before he leave the earth, right? So that's the same way I see it. I always like hold up the worst case scenario, and then other than that, right? I want to do like freaking, if I had the choice, I would do like freaking like 12 books a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to do 12 books a freaking year.
Could you
Right,
do
but
that if that was your full time gig? Do you
Yeah,
think you could put out 12 books a
I
year?
could do it. I could do it if it was my full time gig. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll be in my apartment in my underwear all day. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how normally I draw. You know what I'm saying? But that's my process. That's part of my process, right?
That's actually part when I go to Aaron's and draw. That's what we do. We get down to our underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get
Hold
method.
hands, sing
Turn the-
kumbaya.
Turn the,
Yep.
turn the heat up really high.
Well, you just turn into a sweat lodge. We actually start wrestling.
Papers curling up.
Oil each other down.
I think
Hey,
part
wait a
of
second. Wait.
All right, what?
Part of it too is when you draw, like when you make 2 or 3 books a year, like we are, like and working, we're at least putting in 4 or 5 hours a day drawing. So you just get quicker just by doing that. Like I make sure I dedicate at very least 4 hours a day to drawing.
That's a big chunk of time.
It is.
That's low for me.
That's
But I get tired now. I'm getting older, so it's like,
I hear you.
how much time do you spend drawing a day?
Well, with the demos and stuff I have to do for school, it might be 4. Because I'll try to do a couple hours on my own stuff.
Yeah.
I got to do like watercolors and painting and do
I could
clay
go-
stuff.
Sometimes I go like 2 weeks, a whole month without drawing. Right? 'Cause I'm focusing on writing a story
Oh, I
or
see
something
what
like
you're
that.
saying.
So I just like pull myself away because somebody told me that a long time ago. They said like, yo, if you focus on like not drawing for a whole month and focus on being a writer, then you'll become a better writer.
I
Right?
think that's true.
But then once you get back into to drawing again, you have a love for it. You feel like you're learning how to walk all over again. Right,
What's
but,
the
yeah.
turning the wheel thing that you sometimes reference?
Turning the wheel
Turning the giant wheel, or is that a Caetano thing?
might be a Caetano thing.
Caetano was
Caetano.
here. I think has a phrase where like because he does comic art, he does illustrations for people, he does hand painted signs, he does all sorts of things. He does murals, and
Yeah,
he
he's-
always
he's
talks
really good.
about it's like turning the giant wheel. That switching from one craft to another,
Yeah.
it's slow to start, but once it starts spinning, you get faster and faster. And I think with the writing or the drawing like that, but it's again, you guys do so many multidisciplinary things. I find it hard to figure out. You spend that month writing. Do you spend a month penciling then and a month inking? And but you're juggling all of this at the same time. How do you juggle
So-
the process?
So with my process, like when I want to write a book, I'll pretty much write the entire. Like I said, when I'm inspired, I'll pretty much write the entire outline. And
When
then,
you're on DMT,
yeah, when I'm on the DMT.
speaking to the Clockwork Elves.
Yes. Well, they're yelling at me, actually.
Okay.
That's really how it goes down, and they laugh at me. But anyways, so when I'm inspired, I pretty much write out the entire outline. And then I might take a weekend where I can get peace and quiet. Like I might go like camping or something, or not camping, but like out in the woods. And then I'll
Real
start
camping.
structuring it like page by page. And then like maybe me and some buddies will hang out. We'll, do something, and then we'll start throwing the dialogue around. You know what I mean? Like I'll start ripping jokes on friends, and because
You
I'm
know,
like
a
a
writer's workshop.
yeah, kind of, but it's usually just me and my friends drinking beers and being stupid or something.
That's the
you know?
same thing.
Yeah. So then at that point, I generally have a good idea. Then I'll take it and go page by page and just start doing like rough layouts. And then, like I said, it's just a constant refinement of this process. Because as I'm going, I'm building more and more and more. Like sometimes I won't worry about like a narration, or I'll have just some small narrative plots here and there. And as I go, I'm like, you know, when the book is done, I might go in and just write the whole narrative, the whole narration after the fact to kind of fill in spots that I missed or things that I couldn't explain, or, you know, kind of do shortcuts, lead the reader in a certain direction, kind of build up more of the vibe and stuff. So I keep doing things like
sure.
that.
Oh, hey, Nick Gentile's here.
I need a
what's up, man?
Sharpie.
Right here. Got you.
You got
Nick, come in, take a seat.
Oh, all right.
sit on my sandwich, will you?
Oh, don't sit on his gabagool. So this is
Jesus,
Nick
yeah.
Gentile. He is also an artist. He does animation.
Oh, cool.
This is actually my voiceover actor from the thing that I sent you.
Oh, okay, cool.
excellent.
Oh, that's
Say
so
your
cool.
line, Dave. Say your line.
Why are you disturbing me while I am busy with my poetry?
Act-
Wow. Give that guy
real
a
voice-
Grammy.
that's
Yeah.
real
Give me a
voice
Grammy.
acting
Give
right
that guy
there.
a Grammy.
Nick, this is Kevin Delgado. He does a book called Tough Stuff. He's out of Buffalo, New York. This is Nigel Carrington.
Nice to meet you.
He is out of Rochester. He does a book called Scarlet Ibis, as well as Hair, as well as several other
Nice
things.
to meet you.
Hey,
So-
what's up, bro?
I love this artwork. I thought this was so cool.
Thank
Do you have any questions for the artists?
Gee, well, I haven't read anything yet. So why did you do these decisions? What made you decide the things you decided? Both of you.
I like the way he said that. Decisions.
So my
That's good. Yeah.
my decisions were yelled at me by an old hag that was high on acid and chasing me with a rolling pin.
Actually, it sounds like his life experiences are a lot like the cartoons you
Yeah.
draw.
There-
to be
there
honest,
is.
A lot
It's-
like
it-
my life experiences.
So like hold on. There's definitely when he's like hanging out with Dingus, and
no
they're
spoilers, by the way. I just paid for this.
well, at one point they fall into a giant cloud of ecstasy and they start tripping because they were originally like chasing each other, and then they become friends. And he's like, I forgot what's even going around. Do you want to just go to my helicopter, or you want to go to my penthouse and do coke? And he's like, yeah, man, that sounds rad. And he's like, hey, are you hearing these wub wubs? He's like, hear it. I can feel it in my balls, cat. My scrotum feels like it's full of sand. Call me sand sack.
And that's an experience you had?
Yeah.
What a charming story.
Yeah,
The
that's
war
right.
on drugs has been won by drugs.
By great voice acting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Give him another round of applause.
Can we get that on the microphone? Can you just give him the mic so he can repeat that line?
Okay.
Get real close to it.
The war on drugs has been won by drugs.
Oh, beautiful.
Yay. There you go.
Thank
We
you.
have to isolate that now and make that a little clip that we can play.
Yes.
Great.
You should say the name and the address of the comic shop as well, which is 121.
112.
112 East. All right, yeah. Well, let's get a 112 East Bridge Street, the comic shop.
112 East Bridge Street, the comic shop.
Oh,
Oswego, New York.
Beautiful.
Did you step
Beautiful.
on the end of that, Evan?
Huh?
Did you step on the end of?
I don't know.
So
I'm
a
not
lot
gonna
of
cut it.
times that's just kind of a running gimmick in this is that somebody will start to say the address and then somehow we all
Trying
end
to
up
make it very
parroting it
cult-like.
or like getting a good echo chamber going on.
It's not a comic shop.
Okay.
It's the comic shop.
Yeah.
All right, I got a secret message there that I'm supposed to stay in the back room. Where I totally lost track of everything. Do you have any other questions for our guests? Nick, thank you so much. Thank you for the beautiful voiceovers. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fun. Cute cat. Cute murderous cat. But does he murder the good people, the bad people, or is it ambiguous?
It's whatever gets in his way.
Yeah, all
Perfect.
right. I
On that note,
Perfect.
All right. Nice to meet you guys. Thanks so
the
much.
all
sir, yes,
ages,
sir.
Vengeance shows no prejudice.
the all ages tough stuff. It sounds like.
So to jump back into where we were kind of at, what's your least or most favorite part of doing a book? Like, do you find one aspect more tedious or one more enjoyable than any other portion?
You want to start with this one?
Say that question again. What?
So do you like doing one part more than the other? So like, obviously you're both pretty substantial artists. Do you like doing the kind of creative beginnings where you're figuring out the characters, you're starting your storyboard, or is there like, when you're doing the script, is there a part that you like more or less?
The part I like the most is when I first come up with the idea.
Yeah.
Man, because like it seems so big in my head, and for some reason I could never get it to seem like how I see it in my head. Right? That's the best. The best part for me is when it's in my head and I'm seeing all these, action scenes and flipping and jumping and all that stuff. That's the best part of, creating a comic for me. Right? And the other best part for me is actually having like a finished product, having something from nothing.
So the big idea, and then like having something, like
so
when
it's
you
like
took
the
it and you
beginning
made
and
it.
the very end
Okay.
of it. You know what I'm saying? In the process, hanging out and like doing coke with your friends and all that stuff, and drinking and all that stuff. That stuff is good, right?
The comic shop doesn't endorse any of this behavior, by the way. I just like to make that very clear.
It's on Thursdays at 6 p.m.
To be fair, I didn't promote doing cocaine on a helicopter with a land developer. I've never done that. Okay.
No, it sounds like a
Just
great
the DMT.
ethereal moment that never happened.
Yeah, there's byproducts of all that stuff. But the beginning, the very beginning, and the very end is the part that I love the most.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Cool.
It is magic to
And-
see all that stuff physically in front of you. That's the magic. That's what keeps me going, I think.
Man,
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
penciling is tough.
Yeah, it's the one that your
Like-
sticking point, kind of.
Just trying to figure everything out is just time consuming, and you're just like I can ink. Once I start putting ink down, I just like go somewhere else. You know what I mean? And when I come back, I have this beautiful piece of paper in front of me.
Yeah.
Art on it. But man, like dealing with like perspective and the shot that you want to do, the angle you want to do, the references. I got to draw a whole city. Like it's work. It is legit work. Like proportions, everything, just the continuity, the keeping everything consistent, and your characters all looking the same, and that is not like an easy thing that people can do. If it was, there'd be more comics.
I find keeping your characters consistent is incredibly. Again, another skill that I don't have, that I can doodle a person, but like drawing that same person over and over and making sure you can identify that person if they change their clothes or something like that. I think that's very difficult.
Which I know a lot of people, their process when they start drawing that character like about 10 times before they actually do the first page, because you want to be able to get the best angle that character looks good in. You want to get the best pose. You want to get the best look for that character.
Let's talk about
But I don't even
Scarlet.
do that. I just jump right into it.
How do you develop your characters then? Scarlet Ibis. Like, how do you come up with the design and things for that?
Oh man, there's like, again, countless nights are just like, smoking and drinking and, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Drugs and no, just joking. But no, this started when I was this idea been in my head for so long, right? Ever since I was like 17, right? I have like all these characters I wanted to come up with. Scarlet Ibis being one of them. I know if you guys remember back in the day, G-Force.
Yeah.
Right, that animated series, right? The Japanese animated series with the guys with the bird mask and all that stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right, stuff like that kind of inspired me to jump out and do my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like little things like that, kind of, had this character come about. You know what I'm saying? Batman the animated series, right? Rest in peace to Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy, yeah.
R.I.P., right? So like, it started from way back then, and it just stayed in my head for a long period of time. And I was like, I have to bring this character out. I can't keep this thing in my head for so long, else I'll feel like I'll go crazy or something like that. So,
Again, that was the exact comment that you made to me back, whatever at Rice. I was like,
Yeah.
I got to get this stuff out of me or I'll go crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it had to come out somewhere. The creativity had to come out some way. would it be like when I was younger, I wanted to do music, right? It could have come out through that, or
This is okay. I'm gonna throw the brakes on this for a second because this
go
is
ahead.
really weird that all three of you have interests in music as well. Like Kevin, I know you rap or produce, and then Aaron, you do beats and stuff. You do music. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I just find it odd that like there's there's a sense inside you that you need to put something out there into the world creatively, and I think that that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to do music back in the day. And I wanted to become a rapper too when I was younger, you know. And
I think it's just the era that we came from and the
Yeah.
fact that, you know, we're emphatically attached to some kind of sphere of influence. I'm not trying to go off on like a funny joke right now. I'm being serious. Like there's something out there, right? And we just have like this ability to connect with it and draw from it, right? Because I don't know where your ideas come from. Like I said, I get my ideas when it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, I should be sleeping and I'm kind of tossing and turning and I'm like, man, what's you know, I just get like an idea and then I'm like, yeah. So how do I get there? Okay, yeah, I get there through that. Or this could come from this. Like I could, you know, connect these dots this certain way, and it's like it just snowballs into something else. So
Snowballs into something that catches on fire.
Yeah.
That's not even an original quote. That was an old Syracuse football coach quote. He gave it in a press conference one time. He said, well, hopefully this snowballs into something that catches on fire. And I think every reporter's head exploded.
yeah.
Excellent.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Uh,
Tell us more about Tough Stuff. Where did this idea come from?
So pandemic time. Yeah, no. Well, my brother and I started this thing called Tubi Roulette, where we would just go on the streaming app Tubi.
oh
and
hell yeah!
find like the most random, horrible like 80s
Tubi,
movie
baby.
ever, and like do like Samurai Cop was probably the impetus, and then a movie called Miami Connection, which love it, love Miami Connection. And then like I just kind of wanted to make like my own version of that, you know what I mean? And I don't have the capabilities to make a movie, so why not just make it a comic book? And then as far as the cat, my last name can translate into Thin or it can translate into Cat, depending on where you go with it. So it's like, maybe kind of do a cat because that's different. And then the one thing I hate about anthropomorphic comic characters or characters in general is that they're just allowed to do like human things. And I'm like, no, they don't have opposable thumbs. Like, it's not realistic. So I'm like, how can I make this cat shoot a gun? Give him a prosthetic hand. Now he's got an opposable thumb. So it's like, I just kind of think about stuff
actually
like
love
that.
I didn't even
Yeah.
think of that until
There's a joke in here because he
didn't
has to
think
go
of that.
get a job, right? He's got to get a job, and the guy's like, "What makes you think you're qualified?" And he's like, he's like, "I'm pretty sure I'm the first cat with an opposable thumb."
perfect. Yep.
So that's he's like, this is schlub guy. I don't know. I just kind of like drawing funny shit. So like any way I can do that, I just kind of figure out a way that I can add it in there. Like this 4 days later, like it's drawn in crack. Like I just thought that was funny. Like the texture is crack. You know, a cat driving a forklift. Like I don't know. That's just it's kind of mundane. You know what I mean? I don't want to drive a forklift for a living. I don't. So
it's
like
it's terrible.
Yeah.
I've done it off and on.
I'm not,
It is miserable.
I don't look down upon people for what they have to do for money, but it's just like I know what I couldn't handle, and I've had enough shitty jobs where it's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So what else? So what else do you want to know? That's kind of like how it came up was just watching a bunch of 80s and 90s B movies.
That's great.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Have you said that like Tough Stuff is kind of a connection between Robert Crumb and Robert Liefeld?
Initially, yeah, that was kind of the impetus. Was like, you know, I wanted to. That was okay. So I developed a different style for it, right? Because previous to this, I was doing more photo reference, kind of house style to like Marvel, DC kind of thing.
I'm glad you went in this direction.
Yeah, no,
this is a
it-
lot of fun.
It's fun. Yeah, exactly. I just wanted, if I was going to marry myself to a project, I wanted to be having fun doing it so I didn't get like tired of it again, you know? And I didn't want to become like, you know, a slave to that rigidity of like, this has to be on model. This has to be perfect. Like, I don't draw perfect anatomy with the cat. It's almost like a cartoon, right? Mm-hmm. It's less of a. I don't want to draw a realistic cat. Sometimes I will if it lends itself to the story, to like the experience. Then yeah, I'll make it as lifelike as possible. So you kind of like, oh, okay, that kind of switches it up a little bit.
Sort of like those punched in parts from Ren and Stimpy where
Exactly.
they cut to the
Yeah, and it's just like gross. Yeah, I love that. That's kind of what I was going for.
The super realistic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Matte paintings or paintings.
they'll do like the one shot of the hyper realistic thing, and it's like, wow.
When he like slices this dude's belly, he's got like goop coming out of his belly. Like you just kind of barely notice it. Like it's just little things like that. It's like what brings me joy in life.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's the little things. It really is. Because if you're not having a good time putting it together, then well, maybe people would still enjoy it, but like certainly they'll enjoy it more. Because it's just like any kind of performance.
Yeah.
Like if you're experiencing joy in the making, then
You can tell when somebody's not into it. Like if you ever go to any live show and you know they're a little too drunk and they're not really into the town they're in, but it kind of translates into any creative thing. Like if you were reading a book and all of a sudden there's like a weird lull in it, you could kind of tell that maybe they weren't into it for those couple of pages, or they didn't really like that part of the story, but they had to write it because you had to move things forward.
Your personality also shows through your work too. You know what I'm saying? What type of personality you got. You know what I'm saying? My books tend to be a little bit more serious. You know what I'm saying? Kevin books is more comedic. You know what I'm saying? So.
And I'll take all of it. I'll absorb all of your guys' material. Just keep writing, keep making.
Yeah.
Like I love everything about independent comics. It's like a lot of us, I grew up. You read some Marvel and DC, but like one of the first things that I really read was
Wetworks.
Well, it was Ninja Turtles. My uncle got me Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
but like the first actual comic book that I bought was Wetworks from Image, and I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
So even then,
Alex brings up a good point, though, that there are stretches in books, and Aaron, we've talked about this before, where you get to the page or two where it's like, I need to finish this page to tell the rest of the story, but I'm just not into this page at all. Nigel, how do you grind through that? Because you must, not every panel, not every page must be that exciting. There's a grind to this, right?
Yeah, definitely. Shit, damn. How do I get through a page? Sometimes it's tough, you know what I'm saying, because you want it to look dynamic. You don't know what direction you need to go with it. You know, as a comic artist, right? What I was told coming up, or what the people I look up to, they try to get the most boringest scene ever. You know, somebody drinking coffee and that have to look dynamic when you do that. You know, the angles that you
Pay attention. He's talking about coffee drinking.
you know,
it's a thing that Wesley does. A lot.
yeah. Drink a lot of coffee.
Yes. It mimics my life as well.
What kind of coffee?
Black coffee.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Nice,
Pour
nice.
over if possible.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
that fancy pour over.
A lot of
stuff.
sugar in there? No.
No sugar.
No sugar.
No sugar.
Oh,
or,
wow.
or sugar free if you add any creamer.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah.
But making pages where you're drinking coffee dynamic.
Yeah, making pictures where you're drinking coffee dynamic, the characters walking, the characters talking, all like this got to look danic. So you had to choose certain angles. You pay
glad I got my hands on
attention
a copy.
to a lot of directors, movie directors, the different angles that they choose, you know, cinematographic angles that they choose, right? And try to make those look dynamic. And, you know, it helps, you know what I'm saying, push you through other pages. Pay attention to breaking panels and you know when to break panels and how to do it, you know, and all that stuff is very, very important to push it through, you know, pages.
Yeah, swapping out your angles and stuff. Your
Yes.
wide, close up.
Yeah.
That's what I have
yep.
problems with too. Again, I feel like I can draw a little bit, but I'm not a good cinematographer. I feel like there's the same 5 or 6 images that I come back to, and really you said you can't make a movie or whatever, but you're in control of this cinematic world where you're the camera guy setting up these shots.
Yeah.
And I find that to be a struggle. If I was to do a comic, I think I would really struggle with understanding all the aspects of how the viewer is. Like I understand how pages work. I understand how I understand the anatomy of a comic book very well, but then the creative part of me, I think I lack is I don't know how to present my own, we talk about like the Bill Sienkiewicz panels where like your eyeballs just moving all around the page and it's so masterfully done. And I'm not saying that I need to be Bill Sienkiewicz, but like you guys have that command of a page where you can move your eyeballs around. The very creative, clever choices that you make in terms of storytelling. It's just something that again, I'm in awe by.
I think that's something that just takes experience, like making more and more pages.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, very much so. And then certain shots is important. You have to put an establishing shot when you're creating scenes.
Yeah.
Right? You have to put, you don't really need a foreshortening shot, right? But you have to have like close-ups and all that stuff, right? And when I say establishing shot, they establish the character. This is where the character is located, right? Or else if you have like close-ups all the time, right, then the reader can't get immersed into the story to know that this is happening in a warehouse or on this street, right? So most of the time when you're starting a scene, right, you want to put like an establishing shot.
We're gonna get a comic
and
cover
then work
right
your way back
now
out.
that has a terrible establishing shot on the cover, and I want to see if you guys understand that. That's what he just messaged me about, which I thought was very good. A very bad example of what Nigel's.
We just keep beating up on this one.
We
thing.
do. Normally we're very positive here. We don't try to pile on any comic creators because if you're putting comics out into the world, that's the only thing that really matters.
Yeah.
For this cover, we don't really like. So.
So yeah.
You continue down this road, Nigel or Kevin. We'll go Kevin. Marvel gives you a call. Image gives you a call. What's the book you're gonna do?
Per publisher or like Marvel or Image?
Let's do a mainstream. Even though we talk indie comics, let's do a Marvel or DC.
Shit. DC. Give me Lobo or like the Demon.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I could do good with those. For Marvel, give me Ghost Rider or I don't know. What do you guys think? I'd rather hear
Your Lobo was immediately as soon as you said that. It's
never
like, oh, yeah,
never drawn
duh.
Lobo. You know what I mean?
Really?
I don't think so. Give me
He's right above our door.
Oh no! I mean, I just feel like like a character like that kind of piques my interest. Like kind of like the anti-hero
Little darker.
badass.
You could do a mashup with him and Aquaman.
I could do
jeez.
Cable. I want to draw Cable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like give me Cable.
Okay.
Oh, just you wait. Just you wait.
Like Widow's Peak Cable, like early.
Only Widow's Peak
Yes.
Cable.
Yes.
I've asked Liefeld why, and he won't tell you why, but I can tell you why they don't draw him like that anymore. And it's because they want Cable to look young because they feel like it appeals to younger readers. They don't want to draw the Widow's Peak
Because
he
there's
looks
no
old.
other characters that would appeal in the X-Men to younger readers.
Hey,
Get out of here.
I'm not editorial.
Yeah.
And Dark Knight Returns
that's-
features an old.
that's
features an old
wild.
Batman.
That's kind of where it's going. Yeah.
That's wild.
I'm not showing it on camera. I'll show you later.
But Dark Knight Returns features an old Batman, and we know how horribly that sold.
Yeah, horribly. That's a horrible trope to use.
Nigel, you get the phone call from Marvel, DC. Any book you want. Where are you going?
Shit, that's it. Damn.
That one Superman print you have there, I love the angle and look of that. That's
Superman print?
Superman, yeah.
Yeah, I want some more darker though. I like dark stuff. I'm a dark guy. I like horror, dark, serious tones. You know what I'm saying? I would say Batman, but I mean that's like a popular character. They wouldn't give somebody new, somebody like Batman. So I'm thinking like
If they let Mark Silvestri do a
I
Batman
wanna-
story, they'll let anybody do a Batman
Yeah.
story.
So many Batman.
What?
yeah.
They're gonna need
Mark Silvestri?
I'm just joking. I love
Hold up.
There's a joke. Yeah,
I
Okay.
love Mark Silvestri.
I
we
love
talk
Mark
about this all the
Silvestri
time.
too,
He's the best.
darkness?
He's the best image artist.
The
best of
darkness?
the original image artist. Yes.
But
This is on brand for Batman though. You could literally just put some Batman
I mean, they've got enough Batman books.
ears
They
on
can give
it
you one
or
of them.
whatever,
Yeah.
and that's Batman. So you're on brand for that though. So I can see you doing Batman.
because the reason why I say not Batman, I want to get somebody who is like not that popular,
Yeah.
right? And try to see how I can make that book really dynamic. You know what I'm saying? I want to get like a really low character that people
Yeah.
really What's that character that you like? What's his name?
Machine Man.
Machine Man,
Oh,
like
yeah.
somebody like a Machine Man or somebody. You know what I'm
Sentinel.
saying?
You could do a really dark Sentinel book.
Yeah,
I would buy the heck out of that book.
yeah.
Well, I would buy all those books.
Make a lot of variant covers. So everyone.
All right, so we
Yeah.
talked.
Exactly.
We talked earlier
Jeez,
about
it's this cover.
an
God.
establishing shot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Alex,
I hate-
if you want to pass this book over,
They handed me this the other day.
Explain the
and,
joke on this cover.
They're like, just take a look at it. Read it. Tell me what the joke is.
Tell us.
And
what
I
the
looked
joke
at
is.
it for 5 minutes and just didn't get it. It's way more obvious than it should be, but it's just not funny and it's not really that interesting.
Well, let them come to their conclusion.
It's fine. I'm
I
gonna.
was looking at that even before you guys pulled it up. It was up
'Cause
on the
it's-
shelf.
yeah,
I
the
was looking
poster.
at. Yeah,
Yeah, I got the poster up there. Just
What am I missing here?
See, and that's
it's going over my head. I don't know what.
So and it, but it's
Same.
Because
but
it's
that's
lacking.
the funny part.
It's lacking an establishing shot for the joke.
It's not even that it's
How
going
is he
over your
floating?
head. It's just that it's really bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now you could have drawn that a million
Nice
different
having
ways.
this chat, guys.
Yeah, I know. You could have drawn that a million different ways to show that he's actually physically in a pool. He's
Yeah,
on. He's
like
on a
he could
big.
be floating.
He's on a
Correct.
watermelon that's very distracting. Has nothing to do with the
Oh,
joke.
yeah.
But then you're just obsessed over like what the watermelon thing is.
Literally just like on
Deadpool.
top of a,
Ha
but there's no water.
But
Yeah, they're like-
is that the colorist though?
No, that's just a bad edit.
There's no. You would see them somewhat submerged. Or
But that's
something.
it. That truly is the
then
establishing shot that just isn't there.
Because if they would have colored it all blue, the characters underneath.
Yeah,
They'd still have to
maybe.
be floating and
Yeah.
popping up.
Anything.
Yeah, it might
And they
have
could
seemed a
even
little bit
save
more.
some time because you could just have a blank space. That
Yeah, you don't have
floats
to draw
water.
as much. Yeah.
Like
It's a bad. But anyway, lack of an establishing shot for that joke doesn't
Yeah.
work.
and for a
If
number
they
one,
did do that, it would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they just
Yeah.
okay.
for a number
Um,
one, too.
I'm
I gotta
I'm glad.
So I'm gonna eat this and go pee.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off.
what would Todd McFarlane say?
Bud, listen here, bud.
Well, I guess. Do we want to wrap it up? We've been talking for an hour. Do we want to wrap it up?
I mean, whatever. Yeah.
What do you guys have to plug?
What you got to plug, Kev?
New stuff, socials, websites. What do you got?
Let's see. I just
Stuff
did a
that's out.
cover for Vanish. So if you guys want to cover Vanish #1, hit me up. I've got upcoming cover for Legacy of Violence. We haven't dropped it yet, but that'll be on the near horizon.
That was the one we were talking about earlier,
Yep.
right? That looked really
Yep.
good. That was really nice.
Tough Stuff is out right now through Source Point Press. Tough Stuff Goes to Rehab is out through me. And then I will be launching a Kickstarter very soon. So follow me at solstice_art at Instagram, Delgado Kevin on Facebook, Frigid Giant on Twitter. Yeah, those are the positive ways to reach me.
Excellent.
All right. I got a book called Scarlet Ibis. I got issue 1, 2. I got issue 3 coming out. Here, issue 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right. 5 is coming out next year. Right. What else I got? I mean, I got so much. Just you could go to my website, starskillscomics.com. Right. That's star with 2 R's, STARR skills. Right. Comics.com. I'm on Facebook, Nigel Carrington, Twitter, Nigel Carrington, Instagram, Nigel Carrington, TikTok. I don't even use it, but I'm there. You know
All
what
right.
I'm saying? On all
My
the social
parole
media.
officer won't let me use TikTok.
Yeah. I don't know. I just can't get it though. Like the whole TikTok thing, I just can't. I don't know what it is. I don't think my life that interested for me to be dancing on TikTok.
Yeah.
I posted like one art thing, and like an 8-year-old was like, "What are you gonna do for Christmas?" And I was like, "Spend time with my family." And they were, I assume it was a he, and they were like, "Oh, cool." It was just it's so weird. It's just
Yeah.
very weird that was the only interaction I got when I posted art. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
But I digest.
Yeah.
And I haven't gone back since.
But I divest.
But I digest.
Digest.
Invest.
Invest.
Digest. Okay.
Aaron, take us home.
It's been real.
Evan Coy is wearing a vest, and you've been listening to the Comic Shop Does a Podcast, Gimmie Indie Comics. I've been Aaron Z. Lee.
I'm Evan Coy. We're here with
Alex Dexter.
and our very special guest today.
Nigel Carrington.
The Kevin Delgado.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
gentlemen.